one of the great secrets about selling is never get caught selling. Always get caught solving. Solve problems. You love to solve problems, so don't sell anything you can't. Find out what the problem is from one of the people you've got out in the business and say, I just want to come and help. Spend some time seeing if there's something you've got going on that I can help with.
Hello, Profit First entrepreneurs and thought leaders. I am so excited. We have a very special guest today. We have Tom Searcy joining us. Tom is the CEO and founder of Hunt Big Sales. And he is also the author of 6 amazing books, including 3 bestsellers that he's also written for the online column Forbes, CBS MoneyWatch, as well as Inc. The books that we're going to talk about today is The Secret to Big Sales and also RFPs Suck. Now, Tom is very experienced. He's led 4 corporations that when he first began working with these companies, they were under 10 million in revenue, and he's grown them to over $100 million. In the last case, he grew this company from a startup to over $200 million in sales. So, Tom is the founder of Big Hunt Sales, which is a successful consultancy and thought leadership organization that's helped clients land more than $21 billion in new sales. And today I'm excited because we're going to talk about the secret to big sales, right? The secret to success. I know a lot of you guys this is not your first rodeo in business. A lot of you guys are training up your sales teams. A lot of you guys are going for RFPs. And this is an episode that you are wanting to listen closely to. So please join me in welcoming Tom Searcy to our platform. Hey, Tom, how are you doing today?
Good, Suzanne. Thanks so much for having me on your podcast. It's great. And I love the people that you're talking to. I think that it's so key that they get the advice that you're giving and the conversations that you have. So what a pleasure.
Well, we're excited to have this conversation, because, a lot of times we meet folks that are just trying to teach business owners how to create sales. But a lot of our audience, they are trying to fire themselves from jobs, right? They have been leading sales for a long time. They're trying to grow sales teams. And this has been one of the biggest obstacles for many of them, right? And at times, we've led sales teams and it's felt like herding a cat, in many ways. So this is a very important topic and we're excited to have it.
Well, I'm glad. I'm going to say some things that might make people a little uncomfortable, although they come from experience. And so if it's all right, I'm going to tell you kind of some of the things I learned along the way from mistakes that I made. I mean, I always tell people you can either make the mistakes over the course of 20 years, or you can talk to somebody like me and use my 20 years of mistakes and then hopefully avoid them. One of the biggest mistakes I see from companies that are starting up, including what I did, is hiring salespeople. Now, in business to business, I'm going to tell you, salespeople, I think of them as tourists. They come in, they go out, they visit your location, they gain some enjoyable experiences, maybe they make some money, and then they leave. And if you look at your salespeople as tourists, you'll consider them differently in how much you invest in training them, how much you invest in managing them, and that's the first thing. Second thing is when you're hiring salespeople, batteries must be included. If you think you need to motivate someone or you need to encourage them or change their compensation after they've joined, you've got the wrong salespeople. Batteries must come included. Third thing is if you think your development cycle is going to be longer than 6 weeks, you hired the wrong person. That person's life expectancy inside of your company is less than 18 months. You can't spend that much time in training and developing them. Now, I don't hate salespeople. I just don't want lots and lots of salespeople. There's no expression that you get 3 salespeople, you hire them. One of them fails because of them. One of them fails because of you. And one of them sticks, which means out of 3 hires, only one of them will be successful. That's uncomfortable because we feel like we hire them and we work with them and we encourage them. And it's faith, hope, and charity. First, we have the faith that they're going to be good at the job, and then they're not. And then we hope they're going to get better. And then it's just charity. We keep them around because we think that eventually they'll get there because of a territory or a market segment or whatever. Sorry, doesn't work like that. Something else that's going to be uncomfortable. We all want to put ourselves out of the sales job. Right. You're the founder, you're the owner, you're the closer. Look, salespeople open doors, create the opportunities. But if it's an opportunity of any size, you're going to be the closer. You're going to be the person who cuts the deal, makes things happen. I mean, how many times have you gone in as an owner or founder and a salesperson's created the beginning of a relationship, the beginning of an opportunity, and you go in and you're like, did you not tell them about this? Did you not give them that example? Did you not ask them that question? And your mind just starts to go, what did I do? Now I have to re-explain everything in closing. Last company that went from $0 to $200 million, I had 3 salespeople. 3. Their job was to land big sales. Their job was to open the door, get us to the senior executive, and then we hunted that particular opportunity as a team. I mean, my technical person was involved, our IT person was involved, our operations person was involved, our contracts person was involved. We worked through those contracts and opportunities as a team. After the salesperson had created the opening relationship, his or her role shifted back a little bit because it's the peer-to-peer selling on the big sales that makes things possible. I mean, the IT person doesn't want to talk to a salesperson. He or she wants to talk to what? An IT person. So I'm a big fan of that, and I'm not a huge fan of lots and lots of transactional sales. The world, if you go back to Gartner did a study based upon the U.S. Department of Labor statistics, and it said by 2027 that all of the sales positions that are out there will have diminished in size by 22%. They'll either be done by, actually, they weren't even about AI. They were really about inside salespeople and technology people and support people, right? Only 10% of all sales positions were going to increase in size. And those were the bigger opportunities that are out there and the more complex opportunities that are out there. So if you want salespeople, they need to be able to look at a complex solution that's necessary and at something of a significant amount of size to cover the cost of sale. Cost of sale is going way, way up. The more humans you have, when you know that 2 out of 3 of them are not going to be productive, you're just carrying weight. And, if you look at their resumes, the resumes are all written. I don't trust any resumes. I don't think any of you trust any resumes. You interview them, they're like you, et cetera, et cetera. I look at that and I say to myself, this is a 1 out of 3 prospect, an opportunity. I'd rather get somebody who can open a door at a senior executive level than I would someone who claims they can close the big sale. They can't. You can't close a big sale alone. So, Suzanne, that's my tirade to start off with about sales in a business-to-business environment. I'm not a transactional business to retail sales professional, so I don't know what exactly that looks like. But if you're selling business to business, you got to sell it differently with different kinds of people.
I love it. I love it. And thank you for spilling the tea there. People, I meet so many entrepreneurs and they go, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with me? Why can't I keep this salesperson or train this salesperson to be successful? And the reality is, it's a position sometimes that's designed to fail, right? It's about delivery. And the quicker you make that decision to cut them, the better in that case. And you're right, salespeople, the life of a salesperson, if it's only 18 months, you have to look at it in a very different way.
Yeah, you do. And the thing is that, so if you're the owner or the entrepreneur and you want to spend your time well, you do wind up climbing up the size of opportunity so that you are more efficient and your expertise is used better. So to do that, you need people who are better at getting you into key executive meetings and starting the process than you are people who are great closers. And I'll be honest, most owners of businesses, you, me, anybody else, we'd love to be in big opportunities. We don't want to prospect. We don't want to fiddle around with all sorts of little meetings and etc. But if you put me in the meeting with the senior executive buyer, I want to be in that front meeting and then let the middle team work it all the way out. And I want to be in the closing meeting, because owners and entrepreneurs, we make changes and adjustments because of our experience, and it's our money. We're investing it. So if that's the case, I don't want salespeople making promises or shaping opportunities along the way. And I don't want to hear about it from someone else. I want to know what it's going to take for us to have a good, productive, successful relationship. And so I need to be spending my time in bigger opportunities, crafting those things and developing those relationships.
I love that. I love that. So I think it's impressive that you were able to build a $200 million company from 3 salespeople. I mean, I talk about 10xing a role, that's absolutely phenomenal that you did that. So my question is, when you're looking for a salesperson, because you dropped some key nuggets, batteries must be included. So if you're like blow and blow, come on, give me some results, show me the money, that's the wrong person, right? That we have on our team.
Right.
So what is a good salesperson? What does that look like then? Do they already have the contacts in your industry? What does that look like?
Really great question. Sometimes they have contacts in the industry. First thing is that they have to be an expert, not in your business, but in the marketplace business. If you sell cybersecurity, they need to know everything about the cybersecurity world so that when they talk to prospects, they are already an expert and in that company's issues. And then it backs into what we have to offer. So number one, they have to be an expert. And if they're a recognized expert, so much the better. Second thing they need to have is an ability to build high-level executive relationships. Whether that's people that they know already or their demonstrated ability to get into conversations, open up doors and have those conversations, they have to have that. The third thing is they need to be able to work with people inside your company. It used to be one of those things that a salesperson would come in, they'd have an opportunity, they'd kind of throw it to the operations people and say, well, you guys got to go figure that out. It doesn't work like that. It takes an ability to work inside, be an expert outside, and being willing to take that little bit of a risk to go see an owner or CEO or whatever. And I'm going to plug my book just a little bit. Then that's the secret to big sales. That's really about what is the executive language about how to get into those senior level executives. It's not necessarily always easy, but once you learn what it is that they're listening for, then it's much easier. But the book gives those ideas. There's lots of good ideas that are out there. Our website has hundreds of videos. All of those are free. So and you find them on YouTube. So I think I make a full $1.25 per book. So I don't make any money on the books. Go get the information for free. And then if you think it's helpful, go get the book. But those are the 3 biggest qualities you need in salespeople. What do we normally try and get? We try to go get somebody who can sell a deal all the way from front to back. I'm going to tell you right now, that's a finite skill. And they get to a certain watermark and they don't work any harder because that's hard work. What if you knew that you had a great team on the inside and your job was every day was to get up and say, who do I want to go talk to and have the first meeting, just the first meeting, and figure out whether or not we're a good fit for each other? That people will do. I also watch out for people who are prospectors only. I don't like cold prospecting. Super, super hard. I like warm prospecting, an ability to reach out to people that you already have in a network or someone else has in a network to have the first conversation. Cold prospecting is getting very, very difficult. So if people don't have an ability to reach out through other connections, it's very difficult. That means I hate to say this, it's really not very valuable to hire salespeople less than 30. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that, but I will tell you right
If it's the
now,
truth, it's the
don't hire,
truth. Thanks for spilling the tea.
yeah, I mean, don't hire children, you know, I mean, these people, and then train them. I think I can get them there. You're a small to mid-sized company. Your job is not to train people. That's IBM's job. Well, that tells you how old I am. That's one of these big, who says IBM? But that's big company's job. If they want to train people how to sell and all the rest of that stuff, God bless them. Please go do it. You're a small company trying to become big. Don't hire children. Don't hire people that are of an age and an experience that they don't have any of their own network of ways in which to reach into soft intros and mid-level intros and referral intros. They don't have it. So forget the kids. Look for the people who can talk to senior executives. Understand that their job is to open the door for you to go ahead and have a senior executive meeting. Know that your job is to be creative as an owner or CEO, and know that your job is to close the deal.
I love that. I love that. And I love the it's important to get somebody that's experienced, and to some degree that looks like someone that's been a manager in their industry, that has, been part of that deal making team before, has had a lot of event conference experience where they've closed some deals. So very good advice there, Tom. And things are not talked about. So, like I said, guys, we got a good one here today. So you definitely want to be listening up on that.
I've already got in trouble on the young ones. I got to tell you about the old ones. It's really ugly.
Tell us about the old ones. Uh-oh.
You have to watch out for anybody over 45. They think their job is to manage other people instead of leveraging their ability to have senior level executive meetings. When you get to 45 plus and you're small to mid-sized business and you're trying to grow, they think that their job is to manage and supervise and encourage and all the rest of that stuff. Little low-level salespeople. No, your job is to get the bigger meetings and help people to get the bigger meetings and move forward from there. One more encouragement. Since I'm encouraging everyone, don't hire sales managers. Don't. The reason why not? You need to be closer to the revenue. You don't need somebody who's got the most eloquent excuses about why they're not successful. If you're going to be out there and you're going to go get 2 or 3 killers. What I mean by that is those people who are strong enough to generate the meetings and get things going. And that's it. And the killer should be reporting to you because you're going to, in the end, be the one who closes the opportunities. If they're transactional sales that are out there, that's going to be very, very hard in a business-to-business environment to grow your business. It's not impossible, but it's more work. Better to keep those running guns real close to you.
I love it. I love it. So let's talk a little bit about RFPs. You've got a book called RFPs Suck. And I know quite a bit of our audience, they may have done government contracting, they may be bidding on construction projects. And, we've all seen the RFPs, the 50-page document where you have to pretty much dot the pages with blood, right, in order to sign it, right? They want DNA and FedExing the Kinkos overnight, right? Everything has to have on 10 thumb drives and things like that. Let's talk about RFP sucks and why RFP sucks and how do we be successful on RFP?
Oh, Suzanne, we need a whole meeting for this. So I'll try and give the high levels. And when I wrote the book, I wrote it because I was so angry about they suck, and they suck energy, resources, time, hope. They suck that out of your company. And fundamentally, and I'll try and do this quickly, an RFP means that your buyer believes he or she already understands their problem. We already know that our buyers typically do not completely understand their problem. So first thing we have to do is try to figure out a way to take what the right answer is to the wrong problem that they're sending to then adjust what their perspective is. Because if you're just answering an RFP as it's been sent out, you're not answering an RFP. You are simply arguing about price. If it's you and three other companies, it's RFP. So step number one is you have to either be able to bend or break the RFP. You have to figure out a way to put in or adjust the way that someone looks at the RFPs. If you can't do that and you're not currently doing business with that company, you should pass, which is the second issue, is that most RFPs you should pass. Owners of companies are nervous because they see an opportunity and they're like, oh, there's a big opportunity. It's with a big company and et cetera. And if we can just get our, God, if I had $1 for every time, if we can just get our foot in the door, then it's going to be a good use. No, it's not. If you can't adjust what that RFP, RFQ, RFB, whatever you want to call it, bids, proposals, inquiries, quotes, it doesn't matter. If you can't adjust that, then you're going to wind up back on that transactional pricing side of it. If you can, because you've got a voice inside of that, then that's a good thing. Third thing I would say about RFPs is that they've given you when you're given an RFP, you have a fundamental belief that that someone is going to read your entire RFP from front to back. That's not how it works. The way it works is that pieces of the RFP are sent out to different people inside of the company. So in every section of the RFP, you need to put in your key benefit or advantage of what you're going to do. And yes, you have to be clever and you have to work your way in, but no one reads it front to back. They only read their sections. There's probably a rubric out there that scores those sections and people look at it. And maybe in the end, they look at the 3 finalists or the 2 finalists or whatever, and maybe somebody goes through all of it, but not everybody. You know, when they buy something of any size in an RFP, they're going to buy it with a team of people, and they may scan some of the rest of it, but they're going to have their eyes and attention on the section or the segment that they want. Fourth thing I'd put in there out of the 16 that I know is if you have the opportunity for a final proposal or presentation, forgive me, a presentation, push for a presentation. We would like to present how we're going to approach this. The RFP gives you a great deal of detail that qualifies finalists. As a potential finalist, we would like to present our solution. If they do not want to give you an opportunity to present, you are bidding. You're qualifying and you're bidding, and that's it. Don't fool yourself that something else is going on, unless you're already doing business with them or unless you've been able to go ahead and bend the RFP. So I hate RFPs unless they're ones that I went ahead and created, and then I like them because big companies have to demonstrate diligence that they did follow a process so that they don't look like they're favoring any one of the companies. And I always want an ethical, right, honest, and unfair advantage. I do not want to have a fair fight. I want to have a very unfair fight. I'm not looking to be unethical or inappropriate or illegal, but I want to have the advantages going in. And one of the greatest advantages is to have written or have influenced the RFP.
Oh, yeah. I mean, first of all, the amount of work that goes into an RFP, I mean, it's like writing a book in some cases. And you're giving your buyer ideas that even if they don't choose you, they've got better ideas, right? And so I am all for like having the advantage when you go in. I mean, one of our favorite words when it came to RFPs became no bid, right? Because it just wasn't worth the time if we didn't already have the relationship. So
that's the biggest, you just said it right there. The biggest mistake companies make is they answer RFPs that they have no influence on. And like you said, no bid. I love that. And you should be saying no to more than 50% of the RFPs coming in, unless something miraculous is happening. But miracles don't happen very often in RFPs.
No, and you're right. It's just to compete for the lowest price, right? And who wins at the end of the day? Really nobody, right? Because, the entity gets bad quality because it's the lowest price and you make no profit, which is a bigger problem.
I know. I know. I cover an idea called napkin math when I'm sitting down, or one of our clients is sitting down with a buyer, and you're really having that senior executive meeting. They say, well, it's going to have to be a certain price and attention. I said, well, let's do the math. And you get out a cocktail napkin and a pen, and you say, look, in our marketplace, this is what it costs for labor. This is what it costs for materials. This is what it costs for technology. And typically we make about this much for profit. Anybody that prices something outside of that by 3 to 5%, you are losing one of those three things that make up your solution. I'm going to tell you, I know everybody and everything in this industry. And if you see a number a lot lower than that, then the fact is you're going to get poor quality. You get a lot higher than that, you're getting gouged.
Oh,
You should look at these. And so it's the napkin math is amazing because they feel like they've been behind the curtain and now they have a different thing to look at other than the price. And napkin math napkin math has been amazingly successful because of the purity of it, the honesty of it. So people aren't having to go off into their own ideas about things that they don't know anything about. They don't know about your business. If they did, they'd have bought one. So,
right. No, I love that concept of napkin math. Sitting at a diner doing napkin math, we should all do that. Makes great dinner conversation. Um, I'm curious, as we close out the secret to big sales, the next, I think, natural question is, where do I find one of these amazing 3 salespeople, right? Where do I find this person at? Where do you go scour for that experience?
well, I will be honest. I feel the best about cheating. So here's how I cheat. And cheating's probably the wrong word, but it does get people's attention. Number one, I look at the people that I have sold to, or our company has sold to, and I ask them, who was the second best person or company that you worked with? And so I look at that person. I try to develop a relationship with that person. If they were close to what we were in developing relationships and starting things out, et cetera, I want to go talk to them. I want to have that meeting or that discussion. Second thing is that I am looking for those people who have the personality qualities that I talked about earlier on, who are on the operational side of the business. Now, people say, well, operations people don't have this, that, and the other thing. That's not true. They don't necessarily have it with exactly this same people we're going to talk to, but they do at the COO level, or they do at the senior vice president of operations or technology or whatever. So I look for people who are systems and process driven, who can represent themselves as experts in their space and get them into the marketplace. Now you got to be careful. You've got to look for people that have some of those qualities that we've discussed up until now. The third thing is that I do not like LinkedIn, Ladders, any of the rest of those groups. What I like is that if I've got somebody who is a regular contributor, podcaster, book writer, article contributor, whatever, and I want to meet with them, I want to talk to them, and I want to see if they're interested. And then the second thing I want to say is, who's the best people that you've talked to in the marketplace that you're dealing with out there, that you bring back again and again because you need their insights. See, so I call that cheating. I don't like resumes very much. I think resumes are high quality fiction. And so I can write a resume and run it through an AI, and I will sound like I invented fire. But you go talk to people who have done it, and you go talk to people who have watched it be done. Those are the experts I want.
I love it. And then I think the natural question after that would be, sometimes we bring them on, right? And it's just not a fit, right? Maybe they're not getting the closes, or not closes, but the relationships that we thought they would get. When do you make that determination to cut that string and let them go?
Well, that's a great question, right? So I'm going to give you a couple pieces of answer about that, and then you have to kind of sort what it is. I think it was Deming who said, hire slow, fire fast. Also, if you've got a problem getting a result, start with process and then go to people. So if we did the right things and bring someone on and we're not getting the result, Go to the processes that we followed to get there and find out what part of the processes are broken. And the salespeople that I've had over time, we built out a very kind of operational approach to selling, and we looked at the processes. Now, every once in a while, you get someone and they either didn't come with batteries included, all right, and which means they don't do the work, they're not energized by what they can accomplish, or they don't work well with people on the inside. My answer is to simply bring them in and say, I'm going to tell you right now, I think you're excellent. I'm grateful for what you've been here. I don't think this fits, and I've got to be honest, I think you don't either. And so let's just figure out a way to make that separation, but we need to make it today. And then how do we do that with respect and dignity? And how do I help you with the right place for you to go to? This one doesn't fit. And I exit them out. Many of the occasions, they know inside, and they've struggled, and they've been working, and they've been trying to do the things they can do, and they're not getting there. And we've looked at the process and tried to fix that, and et cetera, and they're not getting there. So when's the win? It depends upon the industry and et cetera. I think inside of less than 6 months, you'll know. You will know whether or not this is going to work, because you can't invest in development. Education, sure, but development, no. We're in small and mid-sized businesses. We're not trying to go through supplemental education. We're trying to grow our businesses. Don't hire children. Don't hire people that don't come batteries included. Don't hire people that don't have the developmental capacity to go ahead and make themselves better. If you do those things, then you earn the lost energy you spent. And in the end, it's your fault.
I love it. I love it. That's exactly. It's, I love that. So that's a powerful quote about you earn the lost energy that you gain. So you get what you get, right? Or you get what you give. And so it is about being wise in that and being very strategic, right?
I know these things because I've screwed them up. I've tried to develop people. I've tried to motivate them. I've tried to get on and encourage them. I've tried to go ahead and say, you need to make more calls and etc. That crap doesn't work, So in the end, everybody loses, and I'm exhausted, and they haven't gained any confidence. So that's how I know this doesn't work, because I've tried it. And then I've had hundreds of clients who were trying it before we met. They found out the same thing.
Right. Oh yeah. That's what we're taught, right? Is to bring them up from within. But the problem is if you're looking at someone for career life of 18 months, just when they're ready to fly, they're looking for their next job or being recruited by the next person to do the next job, right? So
That's right.
I think that's probably more the commonality now. The recruiters are on them once they hit that 18-month mark in your company. Now, Tom, one of the things that we love to ask our guests as we wind down is if you could leave them with one piece of advice. It can be personal, it could be business. What would that advice be?
There's a lot of advice because most of my life is spent on the advice side. I would say this. You are the best representation. If you're an owner or CEO, you're the best representation of what your company can offer. It's rare that you're going to find someone else. And so you need to spend your time at the highest level of contribution and value. That means the bigger representations and opportunities, and sometimes the bigger parts of the process that get you where you're going. So I would say that would be one of the pieces that's unpopular and dramatically successful. And I've had people that are engineers who own companies, and they're like, I don't want to be in front of people and etc. They're the best people because they go out and talk to engineers. I guess one of the great secrets about selling is never get caught selling. Always get caught solving. Solve problems. You love to solve problems, so don't sell anything you can't. Find out what the problem is from one of the people you've got out in the business and say, I just want to come and help. Spend some time seeing if there's something you've got going on that I can help with. Engineers love to solve problems. IT people love to solve problems. That's what they want to do, but nobody wants to sell except one or two people.
I love that. Solve problems. That's the approach of how to
Yeah.
close.
So,
And you're
so
right. I mean, there's that concept of reciprocity. If you help me solve my problem, I'm going to feel guilty and I'm going to want to hire you so you can be compensated for solving my problem, right?
well, yeah, and
Um,
you have to have an appetite for solving problems, which I love. My dad is an engineer salesperson, and he loved solving problems. We love solving problems. Matter of fact, I'll just offer this to anybody that you've got out there. If you've got a deal that you're working on and you want to spend, 20 minutes or half an hour just talking about it and just getting, free feedback about it, go ahead and send a quick note to CJ at huntbigsales.com. It's Charlie Jacob at huntbigsales.com. CJ at huntbigsales.com. And we'll set up 20 minutes, half hour with me or my partner. And, this is what we do. I mean, Suzanne, they always say if you can find a job that you love and you can do it, you'll never work a day in your life. That's not exactly true, but the fact is that's what motivates you. You love
right.
solving problems. I love solving problems, and if I can help somebody, then we'll get that put together.
I
So,
love it. I love it. Now, Tom, what's the best way to contact you to learn more about closing big sales and building the right team? What's the best way to reach you?
if you send a text, or I'm sorry, an email to CJ at huntbigsales.com, or if you go to our YouTube channel, which is huntbigsales.com, go to our website at, wait a minute, folks, huntbigsales.com. And the books that I've got out there, just put Tom Searcy in Amazon, and all of these books are there. I'd recommend The Secret to Big Sales just for anybody who's in that small to mid-sized business, less than say 100 million, less than 50 million, less than 10 million, less than, a million. There's really nice, good stuff in there to kind of, you can put to use right away. And like I said, it's not, unfortunately, I don't make a lot of money off of books, but it's a good, inexpensive way to kind of get that information and be helpful. Go with the hardback because there are more like worksheets and diagrams in it. And then if you listen to the audio, you're going to get referred back places to go get them, and you're going to probably want to work through them. So get the hardback, unless it's paperback, go with the paperback because it should be cheaper. So that would be my recommendation on all that stuff.
I love it. And what we'll do is we'll put Tom's contact information in our show notes, as well as the link to The Secret of Big Sales so that you guys can order that. And so you guys can learn more and close some of these high ticket, larger sales to move your business forward to that $200 million mark.
That's right.
Now, Tom, this was a great conversation, very helpful, full of really good, juicy information. And we're honored that you are with us today.
What a pleasure. And it's great to talk to you. If there's a way in the future I can be helpful to you or members of your audience by you and I talking about anything else, I'd love to come back. But thank you so much for the time together.
Thank you.